From the vast blue oceans to towering peaks that scrape the sky, our planet Earth is a masterpiece of extremes. Imagine a mountain made of sand, a volcano you can literally step inside, and a lake so radioactive it could literally kill you. From natural wonders that defy logic to landscapes that push the limits of human survival, our planet is full of places that seem too strange, too extreme, or too unbelievable to be real. Get ready to uncover 50 mind-blowing geography facts that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about our world. But first, if you love learning about the craziest, most unbelievable places on Earth, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on our latest videos. So, let's dive right in. At number 1, imagine stepping into the heart of a volcano, a place where very few people have ever been. Located in Iceland, Trina is a dormant volcano that is unique for its enormous accessible magma chamber. Unlike typical volcanoes where the magma chamber either fills with solid lava or collapses after an eruption, this chamber mysteriously emptied, leaving behind a vast hollow space. Today, it is the only volcano in the world where visitors can safely descend up to 120 meters into the magma chamber using a specially designed lift. At number 2, did you know that Monaco is smaller than New York's Central Park? Monaco, a sovereign city-state known for its luxury casinos, yacht-filled harbor, and the legendary Monaco Grand Prix, is smaller than Central Park. Monaco covers just about 2.02 to 2.08 square kilometers, whereas Central Park spans roughly 3.41 square kilometers. To put it simply, you could fit the entire country of Monaco within Central Park with some room to spare. Despite its tiny size, Monaco is a glamorous playground for the rich and famous, packed with history, luxury, and non-stop entertainment. At number 3, Namibia has one of the strangest borders in the world, the Caprivi Strip. This narrow, finger-like extension stretches over 400 kilometers to the east, squeezing between Angola and Botswana. It was created during the colonial era, when Germany controlled what was then German Southwest Africa. In the late 1800s, Germany negotiated with the British to gain access to the Zambezi River, hoping it would give them a navigable route to the east coast of Africa. But the plan backfired. Just downstream sits Victoria Falls, one of the largest waterfalls in the world, making river transport impossible. Today, this odd-shaped panhandle borders 4 countries: Angola, Zambia, Botswana, and Zimbabwe. At number 4, the border between Egypt and Sudan is one of the straightest borders in the world. This border stretches roughly 1,240 kilometers, forming an impressively straight line cutting across the desert. The story behind this straight border goes back to 1899, when Britain, which controlled both Egypt and Sudan at the time, drew a straight political boundary along the 22nd parallel to clearly separate the two territories. However, this perfectly straight line didn't quite match the realities on the ground. The Haleb Triangle is a disputed area claimed by both Egypt and Sudan because of its size and strategic Red Sea coastline. On the other hand, Bur Tawil is a small area south of the border that neither country claims, making it one of the few unclaimed territories on Earth. Number 5. The Bermuda Triangle is a triangular region in the North Atlantic Ocean, with vertices at Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. It covers between 1.3 million and 3.9 million square kilometers. This area has a legendary reputation for mysterious disappearances of ships and airplanes. Over the centuries, more than 50 ships and 20 planes have reportedly vanished without a trace. While some theories suggest supernatural causes, originally including the lost island of Atlantis, most disappearances can be explained by natural environmental factors. The region has treacherous coral reefs, strong currents like the Gulf Stream, frequent tropical storms, and hurricanes that complicate navigation and safety, especially before modern technology. At number 6, did you know that the northernmost tip of Brazil, located at Monte Cabure in the state of Roraima, is actually closer to Canada than it is to the southernmost tip of Brazil? Brazil is a massive country stretching far and wide across South America. Monte Cabure sits near the border with Guyana, way up north at about 5.17 degrees north latitude, while the southernmost point in Brazil is down in Rio Grande do Sul at approximately 33.7 degrees south latitude. So, if you were to travel straight north from Brazil's northern tip, it's a shorter trip to reach parts of Canada than to head all the way south across Brazil to its southern edge. Number 7. Russia's Lake Karachay is so radioactive, standing near it for an hour can kill you. Lake Karachay is infamously one of the most radioactive places on Earth. It was used from 1951 to the 1990s as a dumping site for high-level radioactive waste by the Soviet Union's Mayak nuclear facility. Due to this contamination, the radioactivity near the lake was so intense that standing close to its shore for just 1 hour would deliver a lethal radiation dose capable of killing a person. Due to the extreme hazard, the lake was completely filled in by 2015 with concrete, rock, and dirt to contain the radiation. However, nearby areas suffered pollution, with significant health impacts on local populations exposed to radiation from the contaminated water and dust. At number 8. Italy's Stromboli volcano is called the Lighthouse of the Mediterranean because it has been erupting nearly non-stop for over 2,000 years. People have recorded its eruptions for about 2,400 years. Stromboli's eruptions are famous for regular bursts of glowing lava and explosions that happen every few minutes to hours. The eruptive pattern is so distinctive that the term Strombolian eruption is used worldwide to describe similar volcanic activity. Since 1934, Stromboli has been in a nearly constant state of eruption, with many small to medium explosions and lava flows. This makes Stromboli one of the longest-lasting active volcanoes in the world. Number 9. Did you know the South Pole is much colder than the North Pole? Even though both poles are extremely cold, the temperature difference between them is striking. In the summer, the North Pole warms up to around 0 degrees Celsius, just at the freezing point of water. Meanwhile, the South Pole remains frigid at about minus 28 degrees Celsius. During winter, the contrast is even more dramatic. The North Pole averages around minus 40 degrees Celsius, but the South Pole plunges to an incredible minus 60 degrees Celsius. The temperature difference exists because the North Pole is sea ice over the warmer Arctic Ocean, while the South Pole is on the high, icy continent of Antarctica with thick ice sheets. Antarctica's high elevation, strong winds, and surrounding ocean trap cold air, making it much colder. In contrast, the Arctic is surrounded by land that allows warmer air to enter, moderating its climate. Number 10. Africa's Mount Kilimanjaro has glaciers, despite being near the equator. Mount Kilimanjaro is Africa's tallest peak, a snow-capped giant rising over 5,895 meters high and is located about 330 kilometers south of the equator. How is it possible for a mountain so close to the equator, where tropical heat reigns, to have glaciers and even an ice cap? The answer lies in Kilimanjaro's extreme altitude. At 5,895 meters, temperatures at the summit plunge below freezing year-round, allowing snow to accumulate and transform into glaciers over thousands of years. Despite the fierce equatorial sun shining throughout the year, the high elevation keeps the summit cold enough for ice to survive. However, the glaciers are rapidly shrinking due to global climate change, with some glaciers shrinking by more than 80% since the early 20th century. At number 11. Easter Island, also known as Rapa Nui, is a remote island located in the southeastern Pacific Ocean. This small island is famous for its massive stone statues called moai. These statues were carved by the native Polynesian people, mostly from volcanic tuff, a soft rock made from compressed volcanic ash. There are about 1,000 moai statues, averaging 4 meters tall, with some reaching up to 10 meters. How these huge statues, some over 80 tons, were moved several kilometers across rough terrain remains a mystery. The most accepted theory is that they were walked upright using ropes or rolled on wooden logs, which may have caused deforestation on the island. Number 12. The Arctic Ocean is the smallest of the world's 5 oceans. It covers an area of approximately 14 million square kilometers, which is roughly the size of Antarctica. This makes it smaller than all the other oceans: Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, and Southern. In addition to being the smallest, the Arctic Ocean is also the shallowest, with an average depth of about 1,200 meters. It is located around the North Pole and is surrounded by the land masses of North America, Eurasia, Greenland, Iceland, and several other smaller islands. Number 13. The tree of Tenere, a famous solitary tree in the Sahara Desert, was considered the most isolated tree on Earth. Located in Niger and standing alone with no other trees for over 400 kilometers, The tree became a vital landmark for caravans crossing the Sahara, serving as a living lighthouse for travelers, and survived for around 300 years in the harsh desert environment. Unfortunately, the original tree of Tenere was knocked down in 1973 by a reportedly drunk truck driver who hit the tree while driving along the old caravan route. Today, the dry trunk of the tree is preserved at the Niger National Museum in Niamey, and a metal sculpture marks its former location in the desert. Number 14. The Amazon River has an average discharge of about 215,000 to 230,000 cubic meters per second, which equates to roughly 6,591 to 7,570 cubic kilometers per year. This volume is greater than the combined discharge of the next 7 largest independent rivers in the world. Overall, the Amazon accounts for about 20% of the global riverine discharge into the oceans. Number 15. Transportation in Greenland is unique because there are almost no roads connecting towns. Only about 150 kilometers of roads exist, all within local communities. Most travel between Greenland's scattered settlements is by boat, helicopter, or plane due to harsh terrain, ice, and Arctic weather. For example, Nuuk, the capital, has around 90 kilometers of paved roads, and there are only 3 traffic lights and 12 roundabouts, the only examples of such in Greenland. Greenland's extreme climate and geography make building and maintaining roads difficult, so other transport methods are more practical for longer distances. At number 16. Deep in the Sahara Desert of Mauritania is the Richat structure, also called the Eye of Africa. It is a huge circular formation about 40 to 50 kilometers wide and can be seen from space. At first, people thought it was created by a meteor impact, but scientists found out it's actually a giant dome-shaped rock formation that formed about 100 million years ago. This happened when underground volcanic activity pushed the Earth's surface up. Over millions of years, wind and water wore away the softer rocks, leaving rings of harder rocks. These layers of rock create the unique and stunning circular pattern that makes the Richat structure one of the most beautiful natural features on Earth. Number 17. The U.S. state of Florida boasts the longest coastline in the contiguous United States, stretching approximately 2,170 kilometers along 3 major bodies of water: the Atlantic Ocean to the east, the Gulf of Mexico to the west, and the Straits of Florida to the south. This extensive shoreline, featuring sandy beaches, barrier islands, and intricate inlets, surpasses that of every other state in the lower 48. By comparison, Alaska has the longest coastline in the entire United States overall, but among the contiguous states, Florida ranks first in coastline length. Number 18. The Ganges Delta is home to the largest mangrove forest in the world. The Sundarbans, located in the delta region formed by the confluence of the Ganges, Brahmaputra, and Meghna rivers between India and Bangladesh, is recognized as the world's largest mangrove forest. It spans approximately 10,000 to 20,400 square kilometers and is a unique and highly productive ecosystem. The Sundarbans is famous for its rich biodiversity, including the iconic Royal Bengal tiger, estuarine crocodiles, Indian pythons, and hundreds of bird species. It also plays a crucial role as a natural barrier against cyclones and flooding for millions of people living in the surrounding regions. At number 19. Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa, with a population exceeding 237 million people as of 2025. This immense population makes Nigeria not only the largest in Africa, but also the 6th most populous country in the world. The country's population growth has been rapid and sustained over recent decades, fueled by high birth rates and a youthful demographic structure. This large and growing population presents both opportunities and challenges. On one hand, Nigeria's vast human resource base offers immense potential for economic development and innovation. On the other hand, it places considerable pressure on infrastructure, healthcare, education, and natural resources. Number 20. Over 90% of Kyrgyzstan's land is covered by mountains, making it one of the most mountainous countries in the world. The rugged terrain is dominated by 2 major mountain ranges, the Tian Shan and the Pamir. These peaks soar impressively high, with the tallest summit, Jengish Chokusu, reaching an extraordinary 7,439 meters. Because of this vast mountainous landscape, Kyrgyzstan's environment is rather harsh. The high elevations influence not only the country's natural beauty, but also the lifestyle and culture of its people. Agriculture is limited to just a small portion of the land, as the steep slopes and rocky soil make farming difficult. Instead, many communities traditionally rely on nomadic herding and have adapted to life in the high mountains over centuries. Number 21. Did you know that Norway has the longest road tunnel in the world? The Lærdal Tunnel is 24.5 kilometers long and connects the municipalities of Lærdal and Årland in Vestland County. It forms part of the main highway, European Route E16, between Oslo and Bergen, providing a year-round, ferry-free and weather-safe route through the mountainous terrain. Construction of the tunnel started in 1995 and it opened in 2000. It is designed with 4 sections separated by large mountain caves that help break up the long drive and provide visual relief through special lighting effects that simulate natural daylight and sunrise. The tunnel is considered an impressive engineering feat and incorporates sophisticated ventilation and safety systems. Number 22. The Ural Mountains separate Europe from Asia and have long been recognized as a major natural boundary between these two continents. This mountain range runs about 2,500 kilometers from the Arctic Ocean in the north down to the Ural River near northwestern Kazakhstan in the south. It forms part of the traditional physiographic border between European Russia to the west and Siberian Russia, Asia to the east. While historical borders between Europe and Asia have varied, sometimes traced along rivers like the Don, Volga, or even the Ob, the Urals have been widely accepted by science and culture as the dividing line for about 3 centuries. Number 23. The Volga River is the longest river in Europe. It stretches approximately 3,690 kilometers, flowing entirely within Russia from the Valdai Hills northwest of Moscow to the Caspian Sea. The Volga is not only Europe's longest river in terms of length, but also has the largest drainage basin and highest average discharge in Europe. Number 24. The Stone Forest, also known as Shilin in Chinese, is a stunning natural wonder located about 90 kilometers southeast of Kunming in Yunnan Province, China. It is famous for its remarkable limestone formations that resemble a forest made of towering stone pillars. These formations, some reaching over 40 meters high, are the result of more than 270 million years of geological processes. The stone forest covers roughly 350 square kilometers and is divided into several scenic areas, with each offering unique rock formations that look like petrified trees and figures. It is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site due to its exceptional geological value and cultural significance. At number 25, Mount Thor, located on Baffin Island in Nunavut, Canada, holds the record for the Earth's greatest vertical drop. The mountain's west face features a sheer cliff that plunges straight down for 1,250 meters. This vertical drop is so steep that the cliff actually curves back on itself, creating an average overhang angle of 105 degrees, meaning it overhangs by 15 degrees from vertical. If someone were to fall off the top of this cliff without any parachute, they would experience approximately 26 seconds of free fall before hitting the ground. The mountain stands nearly 1,675 meters tall in total. Mount Thor is named after the Norse god of thunder, fitting for such a formidable natural structure. Number 26. Arica, Chile, located in the Atacama Desert, holds the world record for the longest sustained dry period, with no recorded rainfall for 172 months, about 14 years, between October 1903 and January 1918. This extreme dryness is characteristic of the Atacama Desert, which is one of the driest places on Earth. Arica receives an average annual rainfall of only about 0.76 millimeters, and in many years there is no measurable rain at all. Despite this, a natural mist called Camanchaca provides a minimal level of moisture to support limited vegetation and animal life. Due to its extreme dryness and unique environment, Arica is widely recognized as the driest inhabited place on Earth. Number 27. The Tri-Border Area, also known as the Triple Frontier, is where the borders of Argentina, Brazil, and Paraguay converge at the confluence of the Iguazu and Parana rivers. At this watery junction, each country has erected an obelisk painted with its national colors on its respective riverbank. From these obelisks and designated border landmarks, visitors can look across the rivers and see all 3 countries at once. Standing at the precise tri-border point would mean being in Argentina, Brazil, and Paraguay simultaneously, although the official border is in the river itself. This spot is a popular tourist attraction and a powerful symbol of the connection shared by these 3 South American nations. At number 28. On Tasmania's west coast, it rains more than 2,000 millimeters every year, making it one of the wettest inhabited places in the world. This high rainfall is primarily due to the geography and prevailing westerly winds from the Southern Ocean, which bring frequent and heavy precipitation. Some areas, like the region around Queenstown near the west coast, even receive up to 2,400 millimeters annually. The rain mostly falls in winter and early spring, with frequent showers throughout the year. This persistent wet climate supports lush, temperate rainforests unique to this part of the world. The contrast with drier eastern Tasmania highlights the west coast's exceptional rainfall levels. Number 29. The Chernobyl exclusion zone in Ukraine has become a remarkable haven for wildlife, including rare and notable species such as the Przewalski's horses. Since the 1986 nuclear disaster, the absence of human activity has allowed nature to reclaim the area, creating a diverse natural habitat. Large mammals like gray wolves, wild boars, brown bears, European bison, Eurasian lynx, and the rare Przewalski's horses have thrived within the zone. These horses, among other species, were introduced to the area to help restore ecosystems and have adapted well. Extensive field research has recorded abundant populations of at least 14 different mammal species, living even in highly contaminated zones. At number 30. Did you know that the United States experiences more tornadoes than any other country, with over 1,000 tornadoes annually? In fact, recent data shows a significant surge in tornado activity, with 1,910 tornadoes reported across the country in 2024 alone. The U.S. tornado count is the highest worldwide by a large margin, with many states experiencing multiple tornado events each year. Texas, for example, had an annual average of over 100 tornadoes in recent years, while other states like Illinois and Iowa also see high numbers. Tornadoes in the U.S. are more frequent and often more violent compared to other regions, making the country unique in this regard. Number 31. Lesotho, known as the Kingdom in the Sky, is a unique African country because it's the only nation entirely situated above 1,000 meters in elevation. This high altitude gives Lesotho a colder climate than much of Africa, allowing snow to fall regularly. On average, the country experiences about 8 snowfalls each year. The capital city, Maseru, sits at roughly 1,600 meters and often sees temperatures near freezing during winter nights, which can bring snow. Higher up, places like the Afri-Ski Mountain Resort at about 2,500 meters receive even more frequent and heavier snow, enabling rare African skiing and winter sports. Lesotho's mountainous terrain and elevation makes it one of the few African places with regular winter snow, a striking contrast to the continent's usual warm image. Number 32. New Zealand still has more sheep than people as of 2025. The country has about 23.6 million sheep compared to approximately 5.3 million people, which means there are roughly 4.5 sheep for every New Zealander. This ratio has decreased significantly from the peak in the 1980s, when there were about 22 sheep per person. The decline in sheep numbers is largely due to falling global wool prices and a shift among farmers to other more profitable ventures, like dairy farming and forestry. Despite the decline, New Zealand remains one of the few countries where sheep outnumber humans, though the gap is closing. Number 23. The Sahara Desert was once green and full of rivers. This period, often called the Green Sahara or the North African Humid Period, occurred around 6,000 to 11,000 years ago. During this time, the Sahara supported lush savanna ecosystems, large lakes, and flowing rivers, making it hospitable to various plants, animals, and human settlements. Research shows that the Sahara experienced multiple cycles of greening over the past hundreds of thousands of years due to changes in Earth's orbit and climate. However, these humid periods were followed by arid phases, with the last Green Sahara period ending around 4,200 years ago, when the monsoon rains retreated southward, leading to the desertification process we see today. The Sahara then transformed back into one of the driest and most hostile regions on Earth. At number 34. Victoria Falls can be heard 25 miles away. Located on the border between Zambia and Zimbabwe, Victoria Falls is one of the world's most breathtaking and iconic natural wonders. Locally known as Mosi Oatunya, which means the smoke that thunders, the falls are famous for their immense size, powerful flow, and the thunderous roar created as millions of liters of water plunge down about 108 meters into the Zambezi River below. This mighty sound can be heard from as far as 40 kilometers away, echoing across the surrounding landscape. The dramatic plunge generates a dense mist that rises more than 400 meters, giving the appearance of smoke from a great fire, which inspired the local name. Number 35. Tasmania is famous for having some of the cleanest air in the world. At its northwestern tip, the Cape Grim Baseline Air Pollution Station is known globally for measuring the purest air ever recorded. Thanks to its remote location, where winds blow directly from the vast southern ocean, the area is largely free from human pollution. Established in 1976, the Cape Grim Station provides a crucial baseline for the cleanest air on Earth. It helps scientists monitor long-term changes in atmospheric pollutants and greenhouse gases on a global scale. It is a rare place of truly pristine air. At number 36. Did you know there are no snakes in Ireland? This is because during the last ice age, the island was covered in ice, and when the ice melted, rising seas cut off the land bridge to Britain earlier than between Britain and Europe, so snakes never had a chance to reach Ireland. The story of St. Patrick driving out snakes is just a myth. Similarly, Iceland has no mosquitoes, largely because of its unpredictable and harsh weather conditions. While mosquitoes can survive in cold environments, Iceland's climate is too unstable for them. The country experiences multiple freeze-thaw cycles throughout the year. This frequent and abrupt temperature fluctuation prevents mosquitoes from completing their life cycle. At number 37. The Adriatic Sea is renowned for having some of the clearest waters in Europe, with the Croatian Adriatic Sea often recognized as the cleanest sea in all of Europe. According to a recent report by the European Environment Agency and the European Commission, nearly 99.1% of the tested coastal waters in Croatia were rated as excellent in terms of water quality. The water's clarity and stunning blue color are attributed to low nutrient levels that limit algae growth, the presence of calcium carbonate from coastal rocks that scatter sunlight, and rigorous environmental protections maintaining minimal pollution. Croatia's pristine waters are a major draw for tourism, offering crystal-clear swimming and boating experiences along its coast and islands. Number 38. Athens is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world. Archaeological evidence shows that Athens has been inhabited since the Neolithic period, before 3000 BCE. Pottery finds and settlement remains around the Acropolis indicate a settled population, with advanced technical and artistic skills even in these ancient times. Athens was an important Mycenaean city by 1400 BCE, with a strong fortress. After some decline, it became a powerful city-state by the 8th century BCE, known for its politics, culture, and buildings. Athens' continuous habitation means it has been home to human settlements for roughly 5,000 years or more, maintaining its presence from the earliest farming communities through to one of the most influential ancient civilizations in history and continuing as a vibrant modern city today. Number 39. On the Olympic Peninsula in western Washington, the Hoh rainforest stands as one of the largest temperate rainforests in the continental United States. Recognized as one of the finest examples of temperate rainforest in the country, it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and Biosphere Reserve. The Hoh rainforest receives about 140 inches of rain each year, making it one of the wettest places in the nation. This lush forest is filled with towering conifers like Sitka spruce and western hemlock, thick mosses, ferns, and a rich variety of wildlife. The coastal climate, frequent fog, and heavy rainfall create perfect conditions for this ancient and vibrant ecosystem to thrive, offering visitors a unique glimpse into one of Washington's most remarkable natural treasures. Number 40. Alaska is one of the most seismically active regions in the world and does experience a very high number of earthquakes. According to the Alaska Earthquake Center, in June 2025 alone, there were 1,774 earthquakes recorded in the state, which averages to roughly 59 earthquakes per day. This includes a wide range of magnitudes, mostly small tremors that are not felt by people. The region regularly sees tens to over 100 earthquakes daily when considering smaller magnitude events. At number 41. Did you know that London has more Indian restaurants than Mumbai? London boasts over 3,600 Indian eateries across the city, reflecting its large South Asian community and the global appeal of Indian cuisine in the UK capital. This number surpasses the count of Indian restaurants in Mumbai, one of India's largest cities. London's Indian restaurant scene is known for its diversity and quality, ranging from traditional to innovative dining experiences, often considered some of the best outside India. Number 42. Did you know that the US state of Hawaii has 10 of the world's 14 climate zones? The Big Island covers about 10,430 square kilometers. Some parts are hot and dry, while others are wet and rainy. The island also has very tall mountains like Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa, where it can be very cold, even snowy, despite Hawaii being in the tropics. There are places on the island where it rains all year and stays warm. Some areas have rainy seasons and dry seasons at different times of the year. There are also desert areas that get very little rain and are very hot. This incredible variety of climate zones all exist within the island's 10,430 square kilometers, making it one of the most climatically diverse places on Earth. Number 43. Canada's Great Bear Rainforest is the largest intact temperate rainforest in the world. It covers roughly 64,000 square kilometers along the Pacific coast of British Columbia, stretching from the Discovery Islands in the south to the British Columbia-Alaska border in the north. This vast and pristine rainforest is part of the larger Pacific temperate rainforest ecoregion, which is the biggest coastal temperate rainforest globally. Since 2016, agreements have been in place to protect about 85% of it from industrial logging, ensuring long-term conservation. Number 44. The Duna Frederico Curbis is the highest sand dune in the world, located in Argentina in the Catamarca province. The dune stands at an impressive height of 1,230 meters from base to peak. Additionally, its top reaches an elevation of about 2,845 meters above sea level. The dune is named after Argentine journalist and researcher Frederico Curbis, who discovered its true height. This massive sand formation resembles a mountain made entirely of sand and offers stunning views of the surrounding mountainous landscape. The Duna Frederico Curbis is accessible from nearby towns and is popular for activities like sandboarding and off-road tours. At number 45. Did you know the Pacific Ocean contains about 25,000 islands? These islands are spread across this vast ocean and are grouped mainly into 3 regions: Micronesia, Melanesia, and Polynesia. These islands range in type from large continental islands like New Guinea and New Zealand, to volcanic high islands such as Hawaii, to coral reefs and uplifted coral platforms. This enormous number of islands represents more than the total number of islands found in all other oceans combined. At number 46. The Caspian Sea is the world's largest enclosed inland body of water, covering an area of about 371,000 square kilometers, which is roughly the size of Japan. Located between Europe and Asia, it's bordered by 5 countries: Russia, Iran, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, and Turkmenistan. Although called a sea, the Caspian is actually a large saltwater lake with no outlet to the oceans, making it an endorheic basin. Its depth varies significantly. The northern part is shallow, averaging 5 to 6 meters, while the southern part reaches depths of around 1,025 meters. The Caspian Sea is also rich in natural resources, especially oil and natural gas found both onshore and beneath its seabed. Number 47. Ruby Falls in Tennessee is the tallest and deepest underground waterfall open to the public in the United States. The waterfall is about 44 meters tall and is located more than 341 meters beneath the surface of Lookout Mountain. Visitors reach it by descending underground in a glass front elevator, followed by a guided tour through the cave to the waterfall. Ruby Falls is a striking geological feature and a popular tourist attraction known for its impressive height and depth underground. At number 48. The skeleton coast of Namibia is littered with shipwrecks, many preserved in sand for decades or even centuries. This haunting coastline, stretching about 500 kilometers along the Atlantic Ocean, has claimed hundreds of ships due to its treacherous waters, offshore rocks, frequent dense fog, rough seas, and shifting sandbanks. Records indicate around 300 ships have sunk along the coast, with estimates that another 200 may have also been lost. Many wrecks are quietly fading into the sand and sea, creating a haunting coastal graveyard of vessels alongside the bones of whales, seals, and people connected to the region's past whaling and maritime tragedies. Number 49. Great Slave Lake in Canada is the deepest lake in North America. It reaches a maximum depth of about 614 meters. This makes it not only the deepest on the continent, but also ranks it as the 8th deepest lake in the world. Located in the Northwest Territories of Canada, Great Slave Lake is also the second largest lake in Canada by surface area, spanning approximately 27,204 square kilometers. The lake is fed mainly by the Slave River, which drains into the Mackenzie River, eventually reaching the Arctic Ocean. Number 50. North America also has some of the coldest spots on Earth. Take Snag, Yukon, up in the Canadian wilderness. On February 3, 1947, the temperature there dropped to a bone-shattering -63 degrees Celsius. And if that isn't extreme enough, North America also holds the record for the biggest temperature swing in a single day. On January 15, 1972, in Loma, Montana, the temperature shot up from -48 degrees Celsius to 9 degrees Celsius. That's crazy, and in just 24 hours. And there you have it. 50 mind-blowing geography facts from around the world. Which fact amazed you the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest videos.